ADMAF Mentorship Program was really such an incredible opportunity. I'm very grateful and thankful to have been given, not only the opportunity to work with someone like Fabrizio Plessi, that I really count as kind of now an important kind of influence on my outlook, and has also kind of influenced just observing him and work and produce a bit of my process. Fabrizio and I guess, both share a certain fascination with boat building techniques, and that is really what kind of brought us together in this project. And it's also really an appreciation for beautiful, skilled craft. And in terms of his influence on the project itself, I think rather than kind of being heavy-handed, he was very much kind of wanted to get himself into the mindset of what I was doing. And so a lot of our early conversations is, what do you want to achieve? What kind of experience are you trying to create? And then by really kind of getting a deep understanding of that, pushing me ever so gently in the kind of right direction, like consider this, or go and have a look at this painting and see how the water is depicted. And it was kind of these very subtle gestures that I felt, where I felt that he understood me and where I was coming from. The first task that Fabrizio gave me when I got to Venice was take a moment to really explore the city and get to know it better. And he gave me a long list of places to visit and things to do to try to really absorb that all in. And he just told me to open my eyes and open my senses to the city and look at it very closely. Obviously the most striking thing is how Venice is built. And it's, because it's built on kind of a lagoon and a marshy land, the structure is quite special. So it's built on, a series of wooden poles. And there is it's something that is not evident to a visitor, maybe upon first glance. And you think of Venice as this, old, historic, and very kind of solid place, but really it's constantly moving and swaying. So that for me was quite striking as just conceptually looking at the city. But then also there's various rhythms. Even the rhythm within the city of moving around it is different because you're on foot or you're on boat. There's the rhythm of the water kind of hitting up against the city. And so especially during my residency, it gave me the time and space to try to absorb all of that very closely. Foresta Sommersa is very much kind of inspired by the rhythm and structures of Venice. It started with this fascination with the underlying structure of the city. And then it was about, okay, how can you kind of transform that into experience that, that could be displaced and moved somewhere else for a different audience to see? Or how do you imagine that kind of underwater condition to be in a space that you occupy? For Foresta Sommersa, because it's a project that's very much inspired by the city, I felt that, glass I wanted to embrace because it's another material that is, very much inherently tied to the city of Venice. It has a long history and tradition there. It's quite sensual. Another thing I really love about it is this transition from a kind of a liquid, fluid state into a solid state. I'm very happy that Foresta Sommersa has found a home at Maraya Art Center, and it will be the kind of first platform to share it with the UAE arts audience. Venice, similarly to the UAE, is a kind of difficult environmental condition to build within, and I definitely see kind of certain similarities. In fact, just like the Palis kind of being, pushed into the ground to support these structures, there is a kind of whole network of like needled concrete piles in the sand in the UAE to kind of allow, the skyscrapers to be built. I've kind of spent my life moving across many different cities. I was born in Baghdad, raised between kind of Abu Dhabi, Dubai, I lived in Canada, lived in New York. In many ways that, every single city has its own kind of urban experience and is a reflection somehow of the kind of contemporary or current human condition within it. And so it's always be fascinated by the city and kind of engage it in my work, my writing, and my research.